All right, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine,
And I am still James.
and today we are going to do an epic review on Extraction. We also going to do a couple other things that we've been watching on Netflix. So we're going to do like a little stream, and uh, hope y'all enjoy it. But we both of us are stuck at home, quarantine. Uh, People can't work right now. I'm working right now, but a lot of people out of work right now,
Right.
and it
Myself
sucks.
included.
Right, and this sucks because uh, bill collector still told me where my money at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So anyway, uh, so we're gonna do a extraction. We're gonna do Ghost in the Shell, and a couple other things that's on Netflix. But before we do all that, we got an intro. All right, we're back. So, okay, Extraction, starring Thor himself, Chris Helmsworth, uh, and he's actually get to be Australian. He didn't have
Yeah.
to try to change
That,
his.
that was the first thing that hit me. I'm like, wait, is he actually Australian? That was drawing, man. Like it's weird, like I can't think of the last like I've seen him play Americans, I've seen him play Thor, and I've seen him play every other kind of not quite British person on the planet. I don't think I've ever seen him play an Australian before.
Yeah, and that kind of show you how a lot of the stars now are freaking foreign. It ain't like all the action stars are got British or Australian or whatever. They
Right.
good at their job because they can. You won't even know.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, Extraction is basically it's a cut and dry story. Okay, the story is nothing new, nothing special. It's kind of it's the action. It's the action that brings you in on this movie. Uh, so the story is this guy named Kyle Rake. Is that his name?
Tyler Rake.
Tyler. Yeah, not Kyle. Tyler. Well, yeah, random white guy name. Kyle, Tyler, whatever. Anyway, Tyler Rake is like he's a mercenary. He's soldier for hire, and he's like one of them guys that I already knew where they was going. Where he's like just kind of like chilling, and he do something crazy. I'm like, okay, is this they're going with the lethal weapon route? He's suicidal,
Like
and
from the jump too. From the jump, they're like, "Oh no, he don't care. He
right.
don't care."
And and I was like, okay. And they flashed to like maybe like a kid or something. I was like, okay, I already know where they're going. He lost a kid, lost his family, whatever. And he's basically a suicidal soldier that takes whatever missions that come his way. Hopefully he die in action. That's kind of like what I'm saying. Like he don't care.
Yeah.
One of them guys. So we seen this. Lethal Weapon. We seen this. That's why I was like, the storyline was nothing. Nothing. New. All right, so it was about a kid that got kidnapped. It was like two rival drug lords, and one of the drug dealers kidnapped the other kid. One of the kids of the one of the drug dealers, and his job, Tyler Rake's job, was to basically get the kid back. That's why they call it extraction.
Right.
Pretty simple. It's nothing there. It's like nothing overlaying. There's no overlayers on there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's
Right. Like
it.
their Jason Statham movies more complicated than this.
Right. But like I said, but forget the story. It's the action that draws you in because from the get go, they just got this very stylish, cool way of shooting their action scenes. It's kind of reminiscent of 1917, man,
Yeah.
where they
It's
had
real kinetic.
right. They had this continuous shot of basically the camera kind of following the guys as they run through this building and they fight these. It's a lot of people that they fight.
Basically the entire country.
Yeah, and yeah, I really love the way they shot those action scenes. That's what drew me in. So like from that first action scene, and I got a clip. Matter of fact, of let me see if I can. I gotta do a. You won't be able to hear no sound, but I'll just do a screen share for you.
All right.
And see her. Okay, that works. Okay, so yeah, I got a clip where I kind of show you where I was talking about with this kinetic action. Let's see, should be right here. So, can you see? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really love from this the get go of this scene right here. This scene, it just like it's a continuous shot, and the camera just like falling through the whole scene. And, and this scene right here when he's like, "You trust me?" No. Like I wouldn't trust him either.
Right.
But yeah, it's a continuous shot, and they are. Now, it's some parts that they probably did cut, but it you feel like you with them. You know what I'm saying? You just feel like you running with them. And then
I'm sure that was a hidden cut when he threw the kid. That
yeah. Come on. Yeah. Like you ain't throwing me across no roof.
Right. But like still, like when you're watching it, like you feel like you just got thrown across the roof.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they just running through people's houses, like people like just like, what the hell? They are strangely calm for people running through their house.
I wanted to talk to you about that specifically because I see this a lot in Eastern cinema. Whenever you have these chase scenes through like these apartment blocks and everything, everybody's just like, again, come on. Like there was an old lady in there, and she just in like,
right. It's like she watched the TV. 3 dudes run through her house with guns. She's like, again.
like it's not Monday yet. Like what?
Yeah. So, yeah. So the action just really sold me. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a couple others. I don't want to show too much, so they won't take me down. But I want to see some of the shootings scenes where Chris Hemsworth kind of like went ham on killing. Like I would say, it's Liam Neeson. No, do you remember what's that movie? London Has Fallen. No, Olympus Has Fallen. Yeah. It got to that level. I'm gonna talk about that a little later because those are problems I had with it, where I love the action, but then it got a little monotonous where people just jumping out, getting shot in the head. Like, okay, how many headshots we talking about here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's a couple of scenes where I really like the hand-to-hand combat, where this close quarters, when he get in close quarters with soldiers, he had ways of taking them out. Let's see. Now, I was trying to find that scene. Okay. So, yeah. So, right here, they got the guys. I'm going to bring him up later, but I didn't know. I thought he was had some more scenes where he was fighting some of the other guys. So it was getting to the point where he was just easily taking out people, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, I really like that. But it's like, where's the challenge? You know what I'm saying? And then when they brought in the other guy, don't ask me to say his name, like Ryan something. He's got an Indian Hindu name. I can't pronounce it, so I'm sorry.
I think his name was Saju or something like that.
Okay, in the movie his name is Saju or whatever.
Yeah. Basically,
he's been I guess he's been hired by the dad to get the kid back. And I don't want to spoil what the whole twist is, but him and Chris Helmsworth become they on opposite sides, and they have like a duel. And then I really like the fact that they kind of match they match him up with somebody that can, fight on his level instead of him just like taking everybody out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, what you think about they fight?
It was weird because I usually would expect to, because I ended up rewatching it later last night, but I expected to be sitting there waiting for their fights, like trying to get through all the other stuff just to get to their fights, and in a weird way, their fights are honestly just like kind of a break from the monotony, but it's not like the major draw, which is weird. Because I really do love the way they choreograph those fights, but
yeah, because they feel real.
They feel real, and I guess because they're so grounded in the movie, they don't feel like a spectacle set piece.
Right, and you know what else I like about those? That I like the fact that they, when they fight, they actually getting tired. You can see their wear and tear on their body, and they fucking getting exhausted as they tussle around. Because I don't know if you've been in too many fights, but when you tussle and fighting around, you know this fights only last about 90 seconds at most, not even that long. And if you fight for, if you fighting for like 2-3 minutes, you're going to be fucking out of breath, tired. You're going to be yelling, well, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. You're going to do all that shit, but you're going to be tired and out of breath in like minute and a half. You know what I'm saying? Into that fight.
And also it's great with characters like these because you get to disassemble their fighting styles because like they ain't doing all the clean grapples they were doing at the head of the fight. They ain't, doing precision strikes. They just trying to lay hands on somebody.
Right. And then when they get to the point where they fighting with knives and stuff, it's all about, okay, I'm trying not to get stabbed. You know what I'm saying?
I love the knife fight in this movie because like so often knife fights in movies become, I'm going to twirl my knife like this. Well, I'm going to twirl my knife like this. And then it's like, you see them like trying to, no, I can't get that. He going to cut me. He going to cut me if I do that.
Right.
You can see them actually being aware that the other person has a knife and they're trying to cut and stab.
Right. So it's like, okay, I see an open shot right here. I can punch him in the gut. But if I move this arm, he going to turn around and cut me right here. So I got to grab him right here, So it looked realistic to me, and I really respect that. And I don't want to show too much, man, but they take some punishment. They take a little too much punishment for somebody to get up and walk after that.
Bruh, they took some John Wick hits in this.
Man, I mean, my dude got hit by a truck. That's all I'm going to say. He got hit by a truck like, boom. And I mean, he didn't get up like he wasn't hurt, but he was hurt. But honestly, he probably shouldn't have got up.
Right? Like, we should have seen some bones sticking out of some places if he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was some brutal fights. What you think of how Chris Helmsworth did his choreography? And
so I guess this is because, you had to choreograph him as a highly trained soldier. But, like, I'm watching the scene, I'm like, is this dude more of a badass than Thor? Because he looks like more of a badass than Thor.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because look, they got to the point where my dude was just tossing people.
He picked one dude up, one-handed, threw him against the truck. Like, I'm like, oh damn.
I know. Hey man, I was like, okay, he's not Thor, right? It's like, dog, wait a minute. I mean, I know you're a badass, but he was just flinging dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? When he got tired of fighting, he was like, man, he just picked one dude up and with one arm tossed his ass against a wall like he was a dummy.
Like, look, I get that Chris Hemsworth is a big dude.
Yeah.
He is constantly in shape, okay?
Yeah.
I get that. But, bruh, one arm tossing a grown-ass man? While you tired? After running through a city for 2 hours?
He's like, you know what? Fuck all this. This dude get on my nerves. Bah! I'll just throw his ass against the wall. Like, fuck him.
I will say, my favorite fight scene in that whole movie is when they're in the alley, like, after he's tossed the smoke bombs and the kids come up. And he's just slapping motherfuckers.
Well, I was going to get to that. I was going to get to the kids. Let me get to that.
I just want to put that out there. That's my favorite fight
I'm pretty
scene
sure people have been talking about this because, okay, I'm going to get to that because I want to talk about the villain.
Right.
The villain of the movie is so bad. Like, it's it's one of them dudes that's so evil, like nothing behind this guy, but just the same old evil villain. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing to
Right.
say, oh, this guy's interesting. You know, it's something about this guy that makes me want to see what's his story. You know, no, he was just
No,
a
he's
super
just evil.
evil villain that had nothing behind him. So he had all these kids working for him. That's why I was gonna try to set up with the kids. And they
Right,
showed he
right.
was evil from the one
His
way they
first
show
moment.
right, okay, right. The one way they show a person is more than evil is violence against kids. And they start off with him just being super evil to a bunch of kids for no good damn reason.
Like, and like you don't realize he's the bad guy because they open the scene with this like the dude looks like a low life. He's fat. He's greasy. He looks like he wants to hurt somebody's
You
kid
talking more
just to
like his
do it.
lieutenant or
His
whatever
his,
that
la-
was,
his lieutenant, his
or
lackey,
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah,
And so it's like that's the guy you see at first. Like that guy looks like he hurts kids.
right.
And then when they reveal the big bad himself, and he's just sitting there in this suit, like just hey, let me holler at you for a minute.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's one of those villains where I'm so cool and villainous that I don't get mad. I just make I make decisions to kill people without even blinking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, man, shut up.
Like like even his whole speech there is like, really, bruh? That's how you gonna play this? Like, well, look, the guy I should be going after is gone now, so I'm
Right.
gonna need something from you. Like,
So
okay,
so he got these kids, you know, like I said, they start off with him just using these kids to work for him. So now he got these kids out there looking for him. So I think I've seen that in a couple movies too. Basically, he's like, look, you know, if you want to earn your spot, you know, in my gang, you know, you got to take this dude out, or you got to earn your keep or whatever. So they kind of use that as later on where these kids are coming after him too. So so now that's the part where you was talking about,
Yeah.
and I don't know if people have problems with this, but I didn't have no problem with what Chris Hemsworth did to these kids.
no, not at all,
'Cause
not
he
at
did,
all, bro.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's a good guy. He did not kill any kids in this movie. Now, hurting kids, that's a different story.
look, he just talked to him. That's all.
No. He didn't talk to him. No, he did what I would have did in that
Look,
situation.
he gave them an open hand conversation. That's all it was.
You hear me? I'm gonna teach all y'all a lesson. I'm gonna teach all y'all to stay in school the hard way. Cause I'm gonna tell you like this, dog. These kids, they coming to him with AKs and stuff, and he kind of, you know what's so funny? How Chris Hemsworth was kind of looking like, kind of confused, like, are you serious right now?
Like one of the kids shoved a double barrel in his face, and I knew the kid was gonna get fucked up because he decided to tell him what he was gonna do before he pulled the trigger,
Yeah.
which is always a mistake.
Well, they kids, they don't know yet. They don't know better yet.
But like the look on his face is like, is this kid sticking a double barrel in my face right now?
So
Is this kid trying to tell me he's about to give me?
no, he was smacking these kids. Now, okay. Now he was throwing these kids around like, you know, like rag dolls. But I can see that. I can see that with the kids. But he was doing it with the adults as well, though.
Right.
Like I could see that when he was doing it with them. But
I think we're honestly just lucky that he didn't roll any cars while he was in this movie, man. Like it would, because after a certain point, like it's kind of the Fast and Furious thing where it's like once you establish that the person can do this a certain level of things, it's not so hard to punch up to the next level. You know? So he's already thrown like full grown men like from a crouch all the way up here on the wall with one arm. Okay, so maybe he's gonna rip a car door off and beat somebody to death with it. Like that, it's not that much room between one and the other. So like I think we lucked out.
Agreed. So I mean, and I was really enjoying the action. That's what I was like when he's fighting all these kids and he just smacking them. Like he smack them with open hand, they go flying across the fucking room. I'm like, cool, I like this shit.
Hey, look, but I will tell you what, you know what I immediately thought of when he did that the oldest kid. I think the character's name is Farad.
Yeah.
But like he smacks him, his hand goes all the way around from here to here and smacks kid straight into the fucking ground. And
Right.
I thought of what's that one Bollywood movie? Where the guy just like he be slapping people.
Slant. Shit. Is it
Singham.
Singham? Singham. Yeah.
Like I immediately thought of that movie. I'm like, these are some next level slaps right here, man. Like he is launching kids with these slaps.
So anyway, so the plot is pretty straight forward. We got a mercenary that's been assigned to get this kid back. It's other things that happen in between that kind of changes the situation. That's where you bring in, and this is kind of cliche, and I saw all the plot points coming before they happen.
Yeah.
But this is when you bring in David Harbour, where you always bring this friend. You got the friend to come in, and I always said to myself, double cross coming. It's like, always that. But you know what? It's going to be from the double cross from love, whereas I'm double crossing you, but I'm looking out for you because you just so caught up in an emotion that you making a bad decision. So like I'm going to make this decision for you. And I don't want to ruin too much of the plot when I say that, but it's so obvious. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
Especially with a character like Tyler Rake, they set him up from the beginning as someone who isn't capable of not being self-destructive.
Yeah, but and not just that. What? Say that one more time.
He's not like he's a self-destructive person. He cannot curb his self-destructive.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood what you said at first.
Right.
I thought you said that he was so worried that he wasn't self-destructive. I'm like, that dude didn't give a shit. He would have walked into a fire-burning building with it's just like, I don't care.
And so like you keep getting like hints of that from every character that interacts with him. Like, don't go off the handle here.
Right. Everybody knew that he was kind of suicidal, so they was kind of like looking out for him, all his friends or whatnot. So that was cool. But you know, I saw that plot point coming. I saw that turn coming. I mean, and I don't want to ruin nothing, but if you see the movie, it's so obvious. You know, I did like that they gave them a nice little fight, and David Harbour actually looked competent. I was expecting this I was expecting this fat, out of shape ass to be like, okay, Chris Helmsworth just mauled these people. You know, I was like, okay, come on, David Harbour.
Like it even.
You got the dead bod. Come on, man.
It even goes to like show how good the choreography is in this movie because like you get one that Chris Hemsworth is still on the mend because he done had his arm ripped out of socket.
And then he aimed for that arm, but he also showed that he know how to use a lot of good tactics without being all in shape. You know, you can move in a way that you can get people without jumping around and doing flips and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also you can see in the fight, neither one of them wants to hurt the other. They're trying to put each other down.
Right.
Get out of the fight.
Right. So, you already saw that coming. So, I mean, and then that, it brings in a couple other characters. The female mercenary that he's working with. I don't know her name, but she's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she's pretty popular in other. She's probably popular in Bollywood movies. I'm not sure. Have you seen her before?
I feel like I have, but I couldn't tell you where.
Yeah, I was about to look her up. I didn't have time, but she was very gorgeous. But she was like basically Chris Hemsworth support or whatever, and so he had some people that was on his side. And I kind of like they kind of had this whole thing where, okay, we can't come and get you, but we can meet you somewhere, So it was kind of like you got to get here. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but meet us here.
Right. Like if you get here, we can back you up and we can get out. But you better get here. I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Right.
Power to you.
Right. So I mean, we got a lot of characters. So and I liked all the characters. They could, like I said, all the action and whatnot. It was handled well. This is where my problems start to come into play. Where the movie starting to wrap up, and it's just got a little monotonous for me. That all these people that's just like they didn't run out of soldiers to kill, and they just running out taking headshots. And it's like, okay, if I'm with somebody, if we got a 2-man group, or we break it up into pairs of twos, the first guy run out, he gets shot in the head. What you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay my ass in my position and not go my ass out there. The next guy run out. Oh shit, he gets shot in the head too. What the fuck you think gonna happen?
Hey, look, that what they weren't taught that in basic training, man. I'm sorry.
I guess.
That's the problem with using faceless mooks in a movie. They're only there to get killed.
I know,
but at the same time, it's like, how is all of these dudes stepping out to get killed?
Right. So I mean, this is what they do in action movies. You got to have a certain amount of people to make the hero look good. But it just got to a point where it was getting a little too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they was in a situation where they was pretty much surrounded and cornered, and they just shot their way out by just like everybody else missing, and they hitting their target like dead on. And I'm like, okay, I like the action, but y'all losing me on the realism here. you know what I'm saying?
Like, I think they got a little too caught up in, crafting that, especially towards the end. They had their set piece that they were building towards, and they got so involved getting to that point that once they got there, they didn't have much they could do with it.
Right. I mean,
so they just stretched it as long as they could.
I mean, they pretty much destroyed the whole freaking country, and I'm looking like, I'm just looking like, okay, they got to a point they need to get to, and there's so many soldiers in their way with so many weapons, and they just taking them out, left and right. And I'm like, okay, that's how they do in these movies, but it just got to a point where it was just a little unrealistic to me, which, I mean, the whole thing is, but it just got that was my problem. Like, okay, I'm having fun with it, but come on, y'all, because y'all was grounded in a little more realism than this, It went to that old Schwarzenegger Commando route towards the end.
Well, and the more shots you fire, the less each bullet counts.
You might as well just start shooting, have them stand in front of each other so he can shoot all three of them in one bullet. All I can say is bullets. Anyway, so
bullets cost, man.
That was my only problem. Did you have any issues with anything besides that?
No, not really. Like, the only things that really bothered me about that was some of the firefights didn't sell to me, just because, again, they'd get into those modes and it'd just be a series of headshots while the dude is running with the holding the gun behind him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, the movie was way too kinetic for it to drag until the end. So, like, I was just along for the ride until that last action set piece.
Right. And me personally, I'm not saying I didn't like the last action set piece. I'm just saying that, it just I just wish they would have kept it a little more real on how they closed that up, instead of just, that one-man army just taking everybody out. Like, come on, man. Make it a little more real, Give me something that I feel like, okay, this could actually happen, But it was still good, it ended on a good note. Well, I ain't going to say a good note, but it ended in an area where I was like, okay.
It ended about as well as it was going to.
Yeah. It's one thing they did at the very end that maybe said, nah, bullshit. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel you. Yeah.
I was like, nah. Because I'm saying like this, man, and I don't want to spoil nothing, but let's just say this. If you get shot in so many places, and you pretty much done bled to death before you even got shot, that last shot. Yeah. And unless a medical team is on standby with a blood transfusion and, you ain't going to make it. I don't see it.
Like, that was, that was the one thing, man. It's like, okay, guys. All right. Y'all lucky the movie's over, because otherwise I'd be walking out.
But we know what? We don't know what we saw. We don't know what we saw. It could have been anything, but whatever, dude. Anyway, it was a good movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give it my rating, man. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the characters. They had one moment though that I was really, rooting for a character, and I'm not gonna say. So I ain't gonna say what happened. I was rooting for what's his name, Saji or whatever.
Stashu.
Okay, so I was really rooting for him at one point, and I was like inspired. I was feeling the emotion, and then they did something to just kick the chair out from under me, like like they did something that's just like, oh, you like that? You like to get your ass out of here, because they took all those feelings from me and just like, ha, gotcha. But
and you know what? And they don't even give you a warning that it's coming. Like the other moment like that in the movie, you know it's coming.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I'm gonna get my right because of all the action, the fun kinetic action, and the choreography and the like all the stunts, all that stuff, man. Because I'm telling you like this, they use a lot of stunt double. They said I can't never tell when they actually switch out the stunt doubles.
Yeah, me neither.
So that's a good thing. If because it's some movies that you'd be like, huh, are you kidding me? Like that's literally it's two different people. But I never could tell when they switch out the stunt doubles or whatever. So I love the action here. So I'm gonna get this movie very high dope. Didn't quite make the epic because of the story's so generic. It's nothing to it. The acting, the acting wasn't bad though. It was some good when they stopped the action. It was some good emotional moments there, but it suffered from being kind of cliche where I knew the beats that they was all gonna hit.
Right.
Where you got the child actor. I don't know his name, but I really like the fact that he was not being like whiny and bratty. I like sometimes they make you hate those kids, and so it depends on how they play it. He was being cooperative. He was just trying to live, So and then he was like, "Who do I trust?" Because it was all people trying to get him. I'm just gonna trust the motherfucker that's putting in the most work.
Right.
I'm rolling with him. So it was like, all right, I'm gonna go with them. Pow. Okay, I'm gonna go with them. Pow. Okay, I'm rolling with you.
It's like, look, can we ask? Okay, no. Can we? Nope. Okay, we good. We good.
All right, so yeah, for that, I give this movie a super high dope. What you give it?
You know what? I'm gonna echo that, man. I'm gonna give it a nice high dope too. Like, because one of the things I really love about this movie is with guys like Chris Hemsworth and David Harbour, sometimes they get locked into playing these, overly expressive characters.
Uh-huh.
So, it's like if you see David Harbour's character in Stranger Things, like he's that guy that's gonna get fed up. It's like, what the hell is going on here? And Thor is Thor, so we don't even need to talk about that. But like, you get these nice nuanced performances from these guys. Like, no, we still remember how to act.
Yeah. Those moments where they was acting was actually good.
Yeah. So like the story's not that, it's not innovative or anything.
Right.
But like
I could wrote
feel
this
like
movie.
Yeah. I mean, give us some time. We can make the sequel for y'all. Just hit us up. Links down below. But it's like this movie I feel like was just for the people that make movies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
it's like John Wick, like the first John Wick, straightforward story, but the action was sold it, you know?
Like the production value on this movie is just like everything.
Right.
The movie looks great, it moves well. There's not a lot to complain about as far as watching the movie. So long as you're in it for the movie, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, so that is our review for Extraction, Netflix Extraction, starring Chris Helmsworth. It's worth it, man. Go check it out as soon as you can. Everything's every movie's shut down, right? Ain't no movies playing right now, is it?
Yeah.